full potential. That means what you are supposed to be. Now, particularly, I'm not going to talk to you about all the, bore you about all the things about health, but I want to talk to you as it pertains to what? Women's health, girls' health. Don't worry, I have a passion for, that's what I do, women's health. So you expect me to have more passion. And then we're here, a girls' school. There are a lot of things that bother us. I will start with, and then you are just at the right age for those things that bother you. You are bothered about your self-image. A lot of you complain about, you are laughing, it's true. Oh, my face, pimples. Allow the pimples be. They will come when they should come, and they will go when they should go. It's part of your growth. It's part of growing up. All of us have pimples at one point. It just shows that, look, my body is developing in the right way. I'm getting mature in the right way. I'm being prepared for what? Adulthood. Do you understand? So don't allow it to make you to affect your psychological health. When you begin to withdraw, you begin to think, and then you know your peers, they can be very funny. Day to day, because some of them have passed through those phases, but they will make you feel as if, oh, the worst is happening to you. But just have your confidence and walk majestically, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. These pimples will come. Here we go. Yes. You know? And so all you need to do, most of you spend all the time looking for the creams and everything to cure you. It's just something that will pass the angle of your face. You try to avoid it. All you need to do, just keep it clean. Wash your face at least 2 to 3 times a day. It reduces the oil. It reduces the sebum that you are producing. And then that will now make your face not to clog properly. But most importantly, be confident about what you are passing through. Another thing, though we'll come back later to talk to you about it, is, you know, as we become mature, a lot of changes happen to us. You know, when we were much younger, our fronts were flat, isn't it? Yes. But we begin to see some two-looking things, you know, and they are growing bigger and bigger, you know. So these are ways of preparing you for adulthood. Adulthood doesn't just happen. It takes you nice and slow until you get there. So what happens? You get your breasts get more rounded. Then some of you begin to get some funny shapes, some bad sides and all that. It's part of your growing up, isn't it? So, and then after a time, some of you will begin to see some monthly visitors, the menstrual flow. You need to be able to take care of yourself. That's why you need to really keep your personal hygiene top notch, isn't it? You shouldn't keep your pads for more than 6 hours, 6 to 8 hours. That means that whether it is staying or not, you should change your sanitary pads, and then you should dispose of it properly. Unfortunately, we will have a session on that, specifically for that. But just a few tips that, you know, those, if you see it comes, those lining that it comes with, is actually meant for you. When you finish using it, you will wrap it back again into it. So you dispose of it properly. You need to be, that's part of caring for your environment. You don't dispose things anyhow that can be harmful to the environment. So you still need to carry on as if nothing is happening to you, knowing fully well that it's a natural thing. It just shows your initiation into womanhood. And it also tells you that, hey girl, I can now become pregnant. So if you are not ready for it, you know, they say even our holy books, whether it's the Bible or the Quran, or even our traditional religions, always tell you that what? There is time for everything. So it is time. You may have the time to say, okay, I'm waiting, I'm not ready. You may be physically ready, maybe okay, I've started menstruating, what is it? My mom thinks that I can't do what she's doing. I can have a baby now, so you go and have, but you are not mentally ready for it. So when the baby comes, you baby carrying baby, I don't know what will happen. So we don't know who will be carrying each other. Do you understand? So just be aware that once you start becoming this thing, yes, you may be ready, but your body may not even be fully ready. These are your hips that are looking nice and this thing, may not be fully formed. So when it comes to that time, when the pregnancy comes, they will want to wait for you, and then if you cannot push, they will now take you and say, you know, we have to deliver you because you are still growing now, your baby is still growing, has not reached your full maturity. Do you understand that? We've seen a lot of young girls, and that has affected their output, because you can imagine you having to drop out of school. It takes a lot of willpower to go back to school and continue where your mates are. Most times you end up in that circle, and I'm sure most of you will not want to end up in that circle. And you know what? It's a vicious circle. Once you end up like that, even the child you are going to born, because you are not economically empowered, is when you have gone to school or when you have learnt a trade, then you'll be economically empowered. Meanwhile, let me tell you, that man that is saying that without you, you fall into the well, let him fall into that well. That well, you should fall into that well. Because you know what? Most of the time, when it happens, they abandon you and you are inside the well. You will be inside the well. So when you say, oh, you are the love of my life, without you I will fall into the well. Say, I beg, one, when I'm ready, I'll come and meet you. Don't fall anywhere. When you are ready, when I'm ready, I'll come and meet you inside the well. Yes, and then we'll continue from there. Because what I'm trying to say is that most of the times you get abandoned. That's what we see on a daily basis. You don't even see the person there. I'm like, hello, excuse me, where is the person? I don't know. The father, what is the father of the baby? I don't know, he has disappeared. Because he's also, most of the time, maybe he's also a baby too. The ones that are good, maybe the mother of the boy will take them. What happens is that she's struggling to train her son. Is it you that should be coming to train? And you automatically, you have found a job for yourself, housemate. Yes, housemate. You will not be doing all the things that, you understand what I'm saying? Yes. So you have ended your career. And before you know it, if you have done one, you will do the second one. Before you know it, you're having many more children. Now you want to take the life grade, now you want to go to school. So a word is enough for the wise. There's time for everything. So that is what we are telling. Because if I look at it, you're all lovely young girls and you have great potential. Everybody has a story. You understand? We all didn't start, nobody fell from heaven. But there's a path you must follow, a path of honor. And you need to apply a lot of discipline to yourself. You're going to face a lot of pressures. There are a lot of peer pressures. Everybody is doing things. I mean, in these days where what is being promoted is don't work out. But the values of life never change. Even in those days until now, they never change. And if you apply those principles to your life, forget about, and luckily for us, all religions, whether it's pagan or whether it's Christian or whether it's Muslim or whether it's Buddhist or Hindu, they all preach the same thing. They all preach about values of life. If we apply those principles to our own lives, we will be better for it. Now I'm sure some of you will say, well, what is my problem? My parents are poor, so I have to do some other things to get money. Yes, your parents are poor, but you're not the first. And there's really a lot you can do for yourself. A lot you can do for yourself. A lot of us came from poor backgrounds as well. So it's not, when people come and tell you that, oh no, I fell from it, it's not true. They had a story. I always say that I've seen so many young people. There was somebody I know, a young guy, he was working today, I think he's in the Senate. I'm serious about this, well back in Medjugorje. The boy was working in Coca, he was selling food, working in their canteen, just to be able to train himself. And then he does the night and goes to school in the morning. And today Victor is, big. He could have just jolly well done something else with himself. He's not different from those that take the gun and go and stay on the street and doing things and then probably lose his life. Do you understand? So there's always a price to pay for something. So I'll just round up by saying that please keep yourselves. This is the time you take some health decisions that will help you in life. Now I just want to say this too by ending that I know that it may be expensive, but when you get home, I don't stop talking without making reference to this. There's what we call a cervical vaccine. It's a vaccine that young girls can take. Protects them from getting cervical cancer much later in life. You may not have heard about it. Your parents may not have heard about it, but all women who are sexually active, meaning that once you have started having sex, you can get cervical cancer. So, but if you have this vaccine, you get protected from having cervical cancer when you begin to have sex much later in life. So when you get home, talk to your parents about cervical cancer vaccine, and it's available in our hospital. And it's not on the normal vaccination, polio and all that. You may have to pay for it, but it can save a lot of lives. It can save you for the future generation. We want you to be quite healthy so that you'll be wealthy. Thank you. Okay. So what does it talk about? What do you understand?
Gender-based violence and discrimination. Like it can be in the 19th century. The 19th century, the girls were not allowed to go to school, but the boys were allowed to go to school. Those gender-based violence are those things that discriminate between a male and a female. So that is gender-based violence. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So,
yes, she's right. Before we proceed, I'll define some terms for you. Okay? Now, what is gender? Gender is coined from a Latin word called genus, and it means kind or race. So gender refers to the characteristics of men, women, boys, and girls that are socially constructed. What do I mean by social construct? That is what is acceptable. If you're a man, act like a man. If you're a woman, act like a woman. So that's what it talks about. So now that we know what gender means, we'll move to gender identity. Gender identity talks about the personal conception that people have of themselves as a male or a female. Like it's one's conception about him or herself. That's why you see some people, they're actually male, but they are doing female things, they're behaving like female. Because that's the way they see themselves. Why some people are female, they, some one kind of things comes to play. Now that we know what gender identity means, we're not going to talk about being. Because what we're talking about here is gender-based violence. Base. That's something you guys are used to. So what is base? What do you know what base? Base. Echo in your mind, So base, what are you of base in regards to gender? Of the foundation, the starting point of anything or something, It doesn't matter if everything is good or bad. The intention doesn't matter. So if you are doing evil, for example, right? So it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's for good or for bad. Base talks about the foundation, the starting point. So we are progressing now. We've talked about gender identity, base. So now we're not talking about violence. I'm sure all of us understand violence, Violence, who can define it? Who can, just give me a brief definition. What do you understand? Okay?
Violence means being rude. Like, not doing things in a decent way, but anything you do is always wrong. And you are hasty. You are hostile towards others. Yeah, hostility. Aggressive is towards something or someone.
Yes. So,
it means harassment or aggressiveness.
Okay. Yes, this is right. So, violence is behavior that anyone exhibits with the intention to hurt, damage, or kill somebody. That's basically the simple understanding of what violence is. So not gender, I'm going to look at a few points which I've jotted down so that I don't miss out anything. Okay, now we're going to talk about gender violence, that's GBV and gender-based violence. I'm putting the three together now to now form the definition of what we are talking about. Gender-based violence. Now that we know gender, we know base, we know violence, and somebody put the three together and just tell me something. Yeah.
Violence is considered intention of touching someone or purpose or killing someone. So gender-based violence can just be said to be defined as your intention, the person's intention towards either the opposite sex or like sex to hurt or kill the person. It can be a female or a male.
Thank you very, very much. So, gender-based violence involves the damage, violence directed towards a person as it regards to gender. Do you guys understand? So most times, who are these people that are mainly affected with the gender-based violence? So that will bring us to the causes of gender-based violence. What are the causes? Poverty, lack of education, cultural norms. So you find out that some cultures will favor the males and neglect the females. There are some villages that I see only women going to fetch water. What about the males? They go play. Only the females, they do all the job. So those are majorly most of the causes of gender-based violence. Then we'll not talk about the types. We have the physical violence, we have the verbal violence. Even in schools, there's verbal violence, hate speech. You see, I think my cousin, who is in a boarding school, they missed school. So she wouldn't go to the prep in her class, just because the boys came first. And he occupied the class. And they told every girl that came, they told them, oh, go and look for another class. That's wrong. That's violence. That's discrimination. And we're going to give examples of GBV. Female genital mutilation. Many of us know what that means. Okay, just one. Okay. Okay. Can you tell us?
The circumcision of the female.
Somebody was raising up. Same thing, right? Same thing. Okay. Female genital mutilation is the process whereby you remove a part of a female genitalia, or the whole part, just because they believe that it will cause immorality. It has nothing to do with your health. So that's discrimination. Then we also have trafficking for sex or slavery. Females are the most trafficked people in the world, and yet it's so pervasive. Nobody really, knows how deep it is. People don't talk much about it. Then this brings us to the impact of gender-based violence. And meanwhile, some examples of gender-based violence. In some countries, they have the honor killing. It's not common here. Like in the Far East, they just believe that okay, you're a female, don't even talk to a boy. If there's any situation like that, a member of the family can kill the female child just because they want to preserve the honor of the family. It doesn't happen to the males, it's only the females it happens to. So we'll talk about the impact of gender-based violence. When we talk about impact, we mean the effect, the influence it has on the gender involved. So what are those impacts? Ill health. That will lead to psychological problems, trauma, unwanted pregnancies, sexually transmitted diseases, depression, even death. Then it also leads to so low esteem. Find out some people they cannot even talk in public. They can't mingle with other people just because of what has happened to them. And that brings us to the prevention. The major thing we talk about today is education. Education is the major way gender-based violence can be prevented. And positive parenting too has a role to play. I'll give you a little example. You know, my daughter's school, I went to pick her one day. We were coming out, so there was a boy who was just playing like this, was being like this, so he almost fell down. So my daughter now said, "Oh, no, don't do that, you will fall." You need to see the eye that the boy gave her. The reason is, you are a girl. What makes you think you can talk to me? You know, that was kind of eye I gave. So then that came to her. Like, what is your business? And I'm even there. She was just trying to help you so that you don't fall. Guy didn't want something, just open the gates and left. So positive parenting.
They come, I did outside the hospital, I did come.
If the child's mother has taught him, okay, you know, the girl, the boy, we are all the same, we need to have respect for each other, then I don't think you behave like that. Okay, so we've rounded off now. I'm going to just say GBV is a violence against a person which constitutes a breach of the fundamental human rights of that person. The person's security, dignity, and total well-being of the person involved. So, now that we understand what GBV is, the way we are going to prevent GBV, like you can also use social media. I see a lot of people, girls, instead of them talking about the major things that affect us, they're talking about shopping things, swimming things, hashtag, they're hashtagging so many things. But why can't you just put hashtag GBV, you know, gender-based violence, hashtag girl, educate a girl child, hashtag promote a girl child, you know, there's so many things we can hashtag about GBV. So I think I'm done. Just going to give you guys the major areas of the GBV. Thank you very much.
To ask for the sake of these students, because we teach them, and sometimes in your midst now there is no teacher.
No, yeah, that's true.
Ask them, when we are teaching them, how many of you want to teach? How many of you want to become teachers? You hardly see one hand up. We all say, I want to become a doctor, I want to become a lawyer. They will choose those big words, profession. And the question is, can the choice of money, because they are choosing such professions because of what?
Money.
Can it influence, is it a yardstick for choosing profession when the students cannot, they don't have what it takes, majority of them, to go into these professions? But because they see doctors ride big cars, not knowing that you also sell what?
I also sell food.
You also sell food. And they see that teachers are riding motorcycle or and so when you ask them, you say, I want to become what? So you educate them on that one also.
I think what